Hello, welcome all to the initiative called as Saturdays for Sustainability Learning, where we are devoting our valuable time, around 60 minutes, 1 hour, for learning about different sustainability issues and sustainability topics. The goal being to understand through discussions, and the proper understanding is one thing that is very critical in sustainability. The reason being it's dynamic field, and every now and then, every day, there is something new coming. So this is the intent of this mastermind group where all of us are connecting over here for peer-to-peer learning and peer-to-peer mentoring. Co-learning is the new trend, I must say. So this is an initiative to explore the co-learning opportunities in the sustainability field. So and one of the core part of this discussions is the concept of synergy. And as you can see on the screen, I'll not read these all the sentences, but this is a concept of synergy where 1 plus 1 is not equal to 2. The possibilities are infinite, and that's how the learning possibilities for all of us coming together and sharing our experiences and our learnings. So that's how we can uh, improve our learning, and as well as we can help our peers to enhance their understanding of the topic as well. So what are the outcomes that you can expect after joining for 60 minutes? So that is, first is learning one new concept every week. And in today's busy schedules, it's not possible for us to invest some specific time for learning. And that's why this dedicated 1 hour is to learn one new concept every week. Second is networking with fellow professionals, learning from their experiences who come from different background, maybe educational, socio-economic, then geographic background, even from different countries as well. Third is different opportunities, I would say. It may be career, it may be entrepreneurship, it may be learning, whatnot. And the fourth is thought leadership. So this group will be a thought leader in sustainability field. So that is what we have a vision in mind. And how we are doing it, uh, I guess I've already shared that every Saturday we are connecting for around 60 minutes in this virtual call. And I'll just skip this plan. But yeah, initially we have one introduction round for the initiative for those who have joined for the first time. Then we discuss the topic, the presentation, and then discussion. So discussion is the central part of all this initiative. So bottom line is, the ground rule for this is all questions are welcome. You are free to express your views. You are free to express and share with us your experiences, and that's how we can add the value. Thank you so much, everyone who have joined today. This is our 23rd day, or week 23, 2nd December. So today we have two agenda. First is, as there is COP28 happening in UAE as we speak today. So we will explore a little bit about what is this COP, what is the history in short, and what is currently happening over there. And the second is, we will check one sustainability report. So that's not sure. Let's see, if we get time, then we will go for sustainability report. Otherwise, if COP28 discussions delayed, then we can postpone this for the next week. All right. So I hope I am audible to all. If you can just quickly confirm.
Yes, audible.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So this was some of the basic details about COP that I had collected, and I hope the screen is shared. Yes. So this is COP, stands for Conference of Parties, and we will see more details about it, right? So let's go back to the history to understand it in a more detailed way. But in short, just what is COP? Because that is the famous term or the popular term, that is COP28, COP27. So currently COP28 means 28th year of this yearly conference. It's the supreme decision-making body of the convention. So what was this convention? Let's say what is the work of that? First is reviewing the implementation of the convention and any other legal instrument that of the COP adopts for the previous COPs as well. Second, take decisions necessary to promote the effective implementation of the convention, including institutional and administrative arrangements. So basically, COP is a political and bureaucratic meeting, I would say, for different countries or different parties. Review the national communications and emissions inventory submitted by the parties. So this is basically the function of as a supreme decision making body. It is attended by the representatives and parties of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, also called as UNFCCC, established in early 90s. So that was it goes back to 1992, Rio de Janeiro, when it was one of the most successful summit, the Rio summit that we called 1992. One of the outcome of that was Agenda 21, and from that conference itself, the UNFCCC originated, and from 1995, these COP meetings are happening every year. So around 70,000, I guess, the number this year, number of people joining in the COP 28, and they discuss about all these issues and what are the solution, how do we do it, so everything. In short, yeah, so first was meeting in 1995 in Berlin, and then every year it has been going on. So, which were the successful? So, I would say the Paris was one of the most successful COP 21, and which gave us this 1.5 degrees Celsius aim to reduce the global warming. And after that, unfortunately, it is not having any successful deliberations as of yet, means the consensus of all the parties. It's not as of yet any constructive or implementable solution hasn't been met as of yet. But this year, COP 28, we are meeting at UAE. And I'll just quickly share every year what happened, So, whenever there is a COP meeting, so before that conference, one document is shared. I'll just open that file. One document is shared by the country which is hosting it. Okay, so this is shared from COP 28, and I'm sharing it on screen. So this is COP 28 overview. This is before starting of this conference, as you can see. Why this is important? I'm sorry. Because uh, global stocktake will be taken for the first time after the Paris Agreement, as it was discussed in the Paris Agreement. So, global stocktake, or GST in short, will provide a comprehensive assessment of progress since adopting the Paris Agreement. This will help align efforts on climate action, including measures that need to be put in place to bridge the gaps in progress. So, this stocktake process is a 5-year process, and that had started in the year 2018, and now this is a year where it is going to taken for discussion, right? Then COP 28 UAE presidency will work to ensure that the world respond to the GST with a clear plan of action. So as we know, global stocktake will be the central part of the discussion for this COP. By hosting COP 28, the UAE is focusing on practical and positive solutions that drive progress for the climate and the economy, as well as provide relief and support to vulnerable communities. The UAE intends to make COP28 highly inclusive, reflecting the views of all geographies, sectors, and constituencies. So, this is the intent set by UAE this year. And in short, the basic details of the COP are given, like institutional background of this COP, that is the United Nations Earth Summit held in Rio 1992, established the UNFCCC, which provided a legal framework for international cooperation to combat climate change. COP stands for Conference of Parties. These are high level conferences that bring together states, regional organizations, and non state actors. There are 198 official parties comprising 197 countries plus the European Union. Any meeting between the parties in a convention is officially a COP, although the acronym is more typically used in reference to the United Nations Climate Summit an annual gathering and world's highest decision-making body on climate issues. The COP is responsible for the Paris Agreement, the landmark climate treaty of 2015, and this is the 28th meeting under the COP. So over the time, it was limited to small group of government negotiations, but later on today, as we can see, it attracts tens of thousands of political leaders, business people, sectoral experts, climate activists, and members of public. So this number is around, I guess, around 70,000 to 1 lakh people that gather over here. And why it's important is there are always, as we all can agree, that there are difference of opinions or different requirements. Like developing countries would require some fund, and as it has been discussed in Paris Agreement itself, right? So 100 billion fund that has to be climate fund has to be issued, but it is not yet the funding has not yet been received from the developed countries. On the other hand, developed countries point of view is that we are still struggling with a lot of issues like war and that in their imminent future, and they will not be able to fund it that much. So these are some of the difference of opinions are there. So in that scenario, how to have joint declaration that every country agrees to the declaration, or they participate in a constructive way to provide a solution. So that's something very important in such kind of discussions. Yes. So this is document I'll just quickly share with you, and then we can discuss about COP28. This is a leadership team. This is Sultan Al Jaber, COP28 UAE president, and I guess he is also president of the or the king of the UAE. All right. So this is the basic details. Yeah, so as they are saying, COP28 action agenda is guided by a single North Star. That is one goal we have, keeping 1.5 degrees with degree Celsius within reach. So that's looking little bit difficult, but this is something the goal that we have. So action agenda is focused on four key areas. First is fast tracking a just and orderly transition, fixing climate finance, focusing on nature, lives, and livelihoods. And fourth is fostering inclusivity for all. Yeah, so this is the agenda for this year. And one of the major issue with COP28 is, as UAE is a fossil fuel based economy, I would say. And in this backdrop of climate change, how do we work around these fossil fuels and oil and gas? So that's one of the major issue that everyone will be looking at. And the second is, of course, the climate fund, the emergency fund that or lost and damage fund that last year that was proposed in last COP. Yes, so these are the four agenda. I'm not sure whether you all you all can suggest maybe. So I'm seeing there is some repetition of these 4 points. If is it so? These are the four agenda, right? Yeah. Yeah. So this is in short what they have shared, and every day uh, the agenda is there. The consultation process is something important, so I'll read it. The COP28's thematic program results from a 6-week public consultation process to receive inputs on the draft program released by the presidency in May 2023. 600 submissions we received from observers, parties, and other stakeholders, and guidance from Marrakesh Partnership, UN Climate Change High Level Champion, UNFCCC. Okay, all right. So this is a consultation process. Okay, all right. So this is the initial document. You may please share your views, something that you would like to take for discussion. Yes, Pratik, do you want to speak? Yeah. Yes. Anybody would like to comment on your views? Maybe if you are following what is happening over there, so please you can share your viewpoints. Okay, sure. No problem. No problem. But yeah, anybody would like to point out any of the issues that you feel is important, or anything which is issue with this kind of discussions, so we can take it up. Or otherwise, I can initiate some discussion point, but I would like to ask you all first. If you have anything, please. Okay, all right. So I have some of the basic questions, or whenever we read in news, there are some issues that are being highlighted. Like first is whether it is sustainable or not to fly with airplane, maybe to such kind of conferences, which is for climate change, and in the process, they are emitting a lot of carbon dioxide and emissions. So, what are your viewpoints on this? What do you think? Okay, I'll remind everyone. So this is a discussion forum. Please do participate, and we are not. This is non-judgmental discussion forum. So yeah, you can express your views freely. Yes, Alokji, you want to share something, please?
Uh, I wanted to say that climate change is a important this concept,
Mhm.
and developed countries should finance some of the initiatives that are being taken in developing countries, especially in terms of technology, because developed countries during the course of their development they have used and generated lots of greenhouse gases now. So right now, when already they are developed and they are having the infrastructure, they're having the technologies, so the technology sharing part should be affordable to developing countries, because what they are doing, they are mostly, if you see, they will be funding and they'll putting loans some
Right.
for uh, like for African countries in the subcontinent. So this percentage is very low, like the interest percentage, but otherwise, they are still taking some percentage of interest for
Yes.
the money they are funding. So that should reduce actually, and the technology is still they're not sharing.
Yeah.
Somehow in this climate change COP conference of parties and all, this should also be an agenda where how to get the proper technology for particular field, like for agriculture, if you want. So in agriculture, what kind of technology they are using and how to get those kind of technology in India or other developing countries. So,
All right. Agree. Technology transfer is, yes, one of the major issue, and it's really required. The reason being that developed countries means reinventing the wheel should not be there, right? Means let's say we have spent as a world, if we say we have spent some resources, some energy to invent some kind of solution, and in view of the climate emergency that we are in, so if everyone agrees the IPCC reports and the climate change and the necessity of climate action, they should share whatever knowledge, whatever learnings they have. The technology transfer should be there. Yes, no doubt about it. And regarding loans also, so what I have read quite a long time ago, there are many African countries for there were loan taken. Let's say the developed countries lend them some loan, and if they couldn't repay it, then there were really serious repercussions on that country. So maybe like they have to purchase even water also. So these were some of the instances,
Same thing
some
was
of the
going with Sri Lanka also. Like China was funding, and then how they'll be using the port and also these things were happening.
yeah. So this is again like a colony, right? So what Britishers or Europeans did previously. So in the same way, this is like a colonization. So they will be funding, they will be giving some money, and if the people couldn't repay it, then they will own that land. Unfortunately, this is also happening. Yes. Okay, so if there is no point to discuss as of yet for you, so what I'll do, I'll just quickly share this COP28 UNFCCC website. I hope it's visible. And from here, if you want to know more about COP28, what is happening, so this is the best website to go to. The reason being, I always prefer to go to directly the source. The reason being, instead of going to any news channel or different reporting bodies, their own understanding and their own agenda comes into picture. What they report, what they want to report, and who is funding them. So instead of that, directly going to the resource, original resource, that's always a better way to learn anything, and especially in such kind of critical issues like sustainability. So this is UNFCCC, uh, where you can go to this website, and I'll just go to home first. Yeah, so COP28 UN Climate Change Conference, 30th November to 12th December 2023, Dubai, UAE. Okay, yeah, so these are the two background, I guess, that they have given. We have already read about COP28. Let's check more on the global stock take, because this was very important activity planned in Paris Agreement. And recently in 2023 in Bonn, Germany, the global stocktake meeting held, and they were preparing a final document over there, and that is being presented in the COP28. Okay, so I'll just quickly read this because this is important. Okay, why the global stocktake is important for climate action this decade. The first ever global stocktake is set to conclude at the UN Climate Change Conference COP28 at the end of this year. The global stocktake is a process for countries and stakeholders to see where they are collectively making progress towards meeting the goals of Paris Climate Change Agreement, and where they are not. We know we are not on track to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And as far as my knowledge is concerned, I guess we have already crossed 1.2 degrees. So that's really difficult journey for us to limit the global temperature to 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial era. The window for meaningful change is closing, and the time to act is now. Governments will take a decision on a global stocktake at COP28, which can be leveraged to accelerate ambition in the next round of climate action plans due in 2025. So, what does it tell us? Okay. So it's nothing but we will say keep what exactly where we are compared to the planned action. So maybe it's just a monitoring tool in short if we want to understand, right? Why this is so important? Yeah, this is already discussed. We'll check this global stock test report if that is available for us. Okay, so it's available here. Just a minute. It was published in September 2023. I want to check that report. If you all could get it, please let me know if you know where it is. I already checked in resources over here, but I couldn't get it. So let's see. Yeah, I guess this is the report.
Yeah, this one is.
Yeah, right. Okay, so this will be put for discussion in this COP28 summary of the intersessional workshop to develop elements and inform the work of the joint contact group of the first global stocktake under the Paris Agreement. Yeah. So as we can see, a little bit technical details over here. Okay, so here is one term called as mitigation. So I want to share or maybe initiate the discussion on this point. So there are two terms, mitigation and adaptation. So anybody would like to discuss or share more things on it? What is the difference between mitigation and adaptation?
Mitigation is like solving a problem,
Mhm.
and adaptation is living with the problem, adapting to it.
All right. Yeah. Anybody would like to try? Because in coming future, these two words will be quite used in all the discussion. Okay, so here it is. First is mitigation, C1, and second one is the adaptation, C2. Okay, so this is something important. Okay, just a minute. So mitigation, backward looking means I guess what has happened till now, and forward looking is what we are expecting out of this COP28. The need to set up efforts to achieve long-term goal in this critical decade and to achieve net zero by around mid-century. Note need for financial, technical, and technological support to overcome challenges and barriers. Opportunity responses includes circular economy approaches we can see that will be discussed and that will grow in future. Energy sector, yes, phase down or phase out of fossil fuels. So whenever we can see this kind of terms, so it's in discussion. So whether we call it as phase down or whether we call it as phase out, and that's how such kind of statements come into this kind of reports. So let's say one country is saying only phase out is the option. Phase out is complete ban. While other country, maybe this oil producing countries are saying, no, no, phase out is not viable as of yet. We need to phase down, reduce it gradually. So instead of avoiding their consent, so such kind of phrase or document or language is used in these documents, right? So phase down, out, or no new coal, tripling renewables, doubling energy efficiency, carbon management, removal approaches. This is something, reduction of non-CO2 gases, including methane, HFCs. Article 6, role in supporting achievement of NDCs, that is national determined contributions for each countries, and raising ambition as well as in attracting private sector and clean technology transfer. So yeah, so as you were rightly saying, so technology transfer should be there, and I guess that is well in the discussion for COP, as we can see. But the only issue is how it will, whether it will be done on practically or not, or and the second, if it has to be done, what is the mechanism to do it?
Technology is like quite expensive. Even if they transfer, they ask lots of money for that.
Right.
And they want many people, many companies, they want to monopolize. Like some design they have made, they have established. So until unless they'll make full profit out of that, they are not going to leave or give away that technology. So those kind of things are happening.
Means everything is related to finance, right?
Yes, yes.
So who will fund this action? So that's the major question. Yeah. Yeah. And based on this mitigation and adaptation, so I'm not sure about it, but I'll just share what I understand from these terms, and maybe we can also search and come back again if we get to know anything. So mitigation is something if we can avoid any problem. So in that way, we use the term mitigation. So whether we can eliminate that problem effectively, if that is the probability or possibility, so their mitigation comes, and it is clear that we will not be able to completely solve that problem or avoid that problem. We have to live it with it. So in that case, adaptation comes into picture, that how effectively we will adopt the change. So I guess these are the
In mitigation measures,
mhm,
suppose greenhouse gases are there. So most of like in industrial case, these greenhouse gases, they are mostly they come due to production or otherwise because in like in energy sector, like when they are
right.
producing energy, power.
Mhm,
So
right.
coal-based thermal plants are there, so that those are producing lots of greenhouse gases.
Mhm,
So in mitigation, if you want to go in mitigation, then
mhm,
you have to choose renewable energy, solar,
right.
wind,
Right.
hydro. So those kind of mitigation plans already companies are having,
Mhm,
and they are trying to develop some more. Like again, you need some area for that. Like
right.
you want to put a solar plant, then you need area for that and huge area for that.
Yeah.
In study, I also found that
Mhm,
because if you want to clean those solar panels, so they are spread in acres. So you
yeah.
need that robotic arm.
Right.
So AI is also introduced in those things.
Yeah.
Again, if you are going for more AI, then some more this e-waste and all everything will come.
And again, I guess providing jobs and livelihoods for all these people, that is also big concern, big issue.
Yes, yes.
How
So,
to do it effectively, that's the
so
real
the
question.
mode of action has to change. So again, adaptation is like once you are going for AI, so
Mhm,
you are going to adapt with the technology which is upcoming.
mhm,
Mitigation, what the problem which was causing thermal power plant were causing lots of greenhouse gases. So you
mhm.
need to mitigate those and come up with a plan of renewable energy. So it is like mitigation and adapting with the newer technology and mitigating the problems or the,
Right.
the concern which you are having.
Mhm.
Both
Right.
go hand in hand.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Means only one is not the solution. So we have to take both together. So I was just searching what is difference between adaptation and mitigation, and I hope it is on the screen. So here they're saying mitigation means making the impact of climate change less severe by preventing or reducing the emissions of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere.
The
So if
same
we
thing.
can prevent and reduce. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So as you were saying, instead of producing the energy, let's say from non-renewable coal and gas, so instead of that, if we can directly get it from renewable resources, maybe solar or wind, right?
Actually, some more research is also going on this carbon capture
Yeah.
utilization.
Yes, yes.
So again, that is also kind. You are producing carbon, but again, you need to capture that. So I was going through one McKinsey study is there on decarbonization in India. So there they presented that around 20 to 30% can be captured around in the vicinity of 300 kilometers or 200 kilometers from the source, and 70% can be captured within 500 kilometers of source. They also
Actually, here in
identified
UAE also they are doing this carbon capture. They are collecting it from atmosphere and they're storing it in the
right.
rocks.
Right.
Carbon capture and carbon sequestration. So that's
Right.
something.
Like Tata Steel did that. They are having a plan for that, and then many other companies are also looking for that. But again, collaboration is required among various parties, various companies for that. If you want to go ahead with this, again, land you need. So land, if you want to acquire some land, there will be some protests and everything. Everything happens. So political support is required. Then your own company or other company should, private, public sector, all should come together for that.
Yes. But against this, there is one logical argument regarding carbon capture and maybe. So what currently discussion that we are having is if we have all the renewable energy, then problem will be solved, right? So that is one way of looking at the solution. But one of the argument on this is the law of entropy, right? So I'll just shortly explain
Yeah,
that.
please. This is
Yeah.
interesting.
So whenever we burn any energy, so there are types of energy, high form of energy or low form of energy. Like let's say if that is oil and gas, so energy is concentrated more on it, right? But as we burn it, energy neither be created nor be destroyed. It just transfer, and always there is a transfer of energy from high grade to low grade. And as already Earth's atmosphere is already heated up, so whatever more energy that we are using, so that will be again stored in the low form of energy because the entropy reduces as we use it, right? So at the end, even if we get some energy source from out of the earth, right? So let's say we could somehow manage to get the energy, but still this hitting of the planet that won't stop. That is one argument regarding this, and it's very logical.
No, heating of the planet will not stop. Can you explain it again?
Yes, yes. So what they're saying, so whatever energy that you are using, so more and more energy if you use, that is being stored in the Earth's orbit only. Okay. So let's say, uh, to simplify it, let's say if we burn the fuel, if we heat up the systems, ultimately carbon dioxide will increase. As it is a greenhouse gas, ultimately the Earth's temperature, the emissions which are, let's say, going out of the earth, that will be captured more like greenhouse effect, and that's how the earth will warmer compared to the previous scenario.
No, but our purpose is to reduce that warming effect. When
Yes.
we are saying that 1.5 degree centigrade we have to maintain, so means we have to emit in such a way, the emission should be in such a way so that this can sustain for longer period. When we are thinking about 2030, it should go say May and 2070, 2080 like that. So we need to limit that so that it is sustainable for future, not only for our generation.
Right.
So that is the purpose. Like we are thinking about sustainability because we are thinking that the resource which we are using, they should last not only for us, but for the future generations also. In that purpose, if we can use renewable energy, of at least because for our sustainability, we need food. If you need food, you need agriculture. For agriculture, methane will be there.
Right.
So I think in India, methane is agriculture is the first largest emitter of greenhouse gases. But you cannot stop agriculture because you need to feed people.
Yeah.
So again, some technology should be there where we can capture for agriculture also. So this is, I studied in one report like that. So it was very quite interesting. We are speaking about industry and all, but agriculture is also one of the highest greenhouse gas emitter.
Yeah.
And we have to do it because for sustainability purposes.
Yes, and one of the key solution I would be saying that population control is one of the important
Yes,
thing
yes.
that we should be looking at. And in fact, I am in discussion with one of the population expert. So who will be joining in this initiative? He is from Canada. Maybe by the end of the December. But he has really quite interesting viewpoints. So he said that population is really important in this climate change discussion. The reason being, the more number of people that we have, the more energy we will require, the more food we will require, and for that, let's say all the emissions are there, so that are also increasing. So if we want to solve the problem, the population is one of the initial or low hanging, I will not say
The
low hanging
primary
fruit,
thing that
but
has
the
to
primary thing, yes, core thing that is there.
right.
Yes, so it was a great discussion, but no one has asked any question or any doubt or any discussion. But I guess that was great discussion, and we will keep the sustainability report for next week because it's already 45 minutes past 7. But yeah, on this topic, if anybody would like to share, please.
Dhananjay, Ujjwal.
Yes. Hi, Ujjwal.
Yeah,
Yes.
good evening.
Good
Uh,
evening.
so I was just listening. I think I could join between last 15 minutes or so.
Okay,
Uh,
great.
but I think there is an interesting aspect which our speaker has also mentioned, and you also talked about it. That in renewable also we have to divide where actually we have to move, and we have to divide amongst whatever options we have. We cannot simply rely upon only solar, only wind, or maybe only different mode of energy generation, because ultimately it is also not clean, as we know.
Right.
If we study with respect to its, you can say, cradle to cradle study, and we come to know that okay, it is also not the only way, and we have to divide our energy. I would say generation uh, coming from the fossil to this one renewable one, but into different segments. Then only it will be sustainable. And India as a, I think, world second largest population and having high energy demand and everything, we have to balance it quite well. Otherwise, it may go other way for us in a reverse way, I would say, to sustainability. But as Prime Minister has also rightly mentioned, ecology and economy. So I think this is something which we are balancing because our ancient culture is like that, and hence we are actually able to put that value into our day-to-day life easily than other countries which are developed one.
Yeah, agree.
But there is a long way to go for us.
Yes. But I don't see even means our metro cities. So the life is really difficult over there for people. When in environment context. So let's say for Delhi, the emissions are really in toxic zone. I would say air quality index AQI.
That is something, a climate emergency is something which we will be seeing in time to come. And obviously, I think there may be studies with respect to impact of climate with respect to health of the people and health of the city or population. I think I am also connected with one of the only in university in India which
Mhm.
which is actually working in public health.
Okay.
That is IIPH at
Okay.
based at Gandhinagar. So I am
Mhm.
actually a lecturer for their some of the subject as a guest
Okay.
lecture.
Okay. Great.
So maybe some point of view on this aspect, if they are they have done as a statistical analysis,
Mhm.
I will also check if some
Yeah,
point in
please.
time they can also throw some light at how climate is impacting the livelihood and health of the people, health status of the people.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there are some of these studies have already been done. So, which states that keep hypertension or the lifestyle related diseases that are more in the cities, but the major contributor is lifestyle. So we are not sure whether climate change or the air quality that has been the core contributor or not, right? So you are suggesting that, right? The causal
Yeah, I
factor
think
should be proved.
I have also learned over a period of time
Mhm.
industrial hygiene, which is also one of the branch.
Right,
So where this there is always a target organ for any of the contaminants. So
right,
particulate matter or SOx, NOx, what we talk, it
right,
has also when it goes into human body, it has also a target organ where it is getting captured, and
right.
over a period of time with longer exposure, people
Mhm.
will develop certain disease.
Right,
Okay. So there is a again scientific study, and I think there is a huge, I would say, uh, even learning on that part also, which
Mhm.
normally this institute does. So that should be, I think, helpful. I know part of it because I have studied some in during some of the course in industrial hygiene. But
Right,
this is something which which also we need to know, and we need to, apart from mitigation part and the prevention part, we also have to study that how we need to be prepared, just like what we have done during the COVID.
right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So general awareness should be there. Means even students should know how to deal with such kind of issues as well. Okay, perfect, perfect. So this was great discussion, and yeah, thank you so much everyone for your valuable time. Uh, Please feel free to express if you want to share anything. Otherwise, we can stop for today, and maybe next week also we can. If you have anything to share on COP28, that we can do on next week also, because it is till 12th of December. So if there is any interesting development, we can definitely discuss.
Sure.
Okay, great. And I'll just quickly share next week's agenda. So hopefully we will have one author of the book who has written one chapter in a book called Sustainability Reporting, and he has agreed to come next week to discuss more on the sustainability reporting. So I hope that will be helpful for all of us. Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Same to you.